What is up, Retromaniacs? My name is Mike, his name is Joe, and his name is EP. We're here to talk about cards. We're not only here to talk about cards, we're going to give you 3 hot takes each. We're going to let you know what we really feel about this hobby. Joe, get us started.
Grading is for suckers. Grading is for suckers. No, so I said at the beginning when we were talking before we started that, mine is like a hot take bold prediction. So it's a bold take, I guess. I don't know. But my hot take bold prediction is that grading is actually going to start to come down. The number of cards being graded is actually going to start to come down this time next year. Mark my words. People are going to start realizing that the cost of grading has not really gone down unless it's gone down a little bit, but it has not really gone down in the grand scheme of things. And the value of cards has come down. At some point, there's got to be, a movable force kind of whatever the expression is. I'm not going to try. I've had a beer. At some point, those two things are going to meet and people are going to realize that grading is for suckers. You should only grade things that are super high end or things you need to get authenticated. So my hot take is grading is going to come down in the next year because it's just too expensive and it doesn't add the value that it used to add during the height of the boom.
EP, thoughts?
My thoughts about his take or my first take, because my first take.
Yeah, we're gonna comment on each other's take. So go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna defer to you because my first hot take is people who are unreasonable about grading cards. So take it away, Mike.
Okay. Well, my first hot take was going to be this exact same hot take.
Oh my God.
There's a good thing I have 4 on my list. So isn't that?
So apparently it's not that hot of a take, right? If all 3 of us.
But no, I don't think that most graded cards are going to retain their value. Like it's not sustainable, especially with the newer stuff. Grading has its place. Older stuff in high quality condition that isn't easy to get that way will retain a value, but the new stuff is a joke, Joe. You're absolutely right. Like you're taking a brand new chromium card. The chromium cards, people can say what they want about quality control, but overall, there aren't a lot of defects. You don't really have to worry about corners on them. You don't really usually have to worry about edges, maybe centering and surface a little bit, but like look at the pop reports. Look at the number of 10s. It should not add 4 times the value or 5 times the value of a card just because you put it in a 10 along with 10,000 other people. Right. So
it's almost like at some point we all have to wake up from this Matrix-esque dream where every card needs to be graded and a 10 of a 2023 card for some reason is worth a ridiculously more amount than a 9 of the same card that looks almost exactly the same. So I
think we've seen prices drop on a lot of stuff already. And when the prices crash, that's when people are going to stop doing it. And that's when the grading, I don't think is going to be what it is now long-term. I agree with you, Joe. Okay, EP, let's get your take here because you have this look on your face and it's correlated to the topic.
It is. Is this an investing podcast or a collecting podcast? I'm just double checking, making sure what we're doing here because
this isn't actually the podcast. The podcast is on Mondays. EP, I know you don't follow the channel.
EP, it's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
I know you work a lot and you don't know what day it is.
Is this channel about investing or about collecting? Because I'm just trying to kind of figure this out. Because
if people men of all seasons,
we know it all.
If a Derrick Henry collector wants to put a 2023 Chronicles card into a slab because that's what their collection is, let them do it. Like what if somebody wants to?
Well, we're not saying they can't.
If somebody wants to grade their 1 of 1,
we're just saying if it does it, it's not going to have a certain value attained.
Sure. I'm just saying unreasonable. There are unreasonable people in this hobby who say you should not slab every card. You should not slab any card. You should not slab 1 of 1s. That is to me the unreasonable take in this hobby. There are a lot of people who they probably just want to have the card in a slab. They feel it is protected in that way. They feel that it is labeled in that way. And I feel like there are a lot of people that are like, I don't understand why people have to be one or the other. It doesn't have to be one or the other. There are gray areas in so many parts of this hobby that
I'm not
that
saying
people need
they
to follow.
can't do it.
I'm
I'm
not.
saying
That's
they're
not
going to
attacking you,
wake up
Joe.
and say
Relax.
they won't.
You're
do
being
it.
defensive. You're being defensive. It's fine.
What
I'm
is
not
your hot
attacking you.
take? I'm not clear what
My
your
hot take. My hot
actually
take is that there are too many people that are too unreasonable about grading cards.
Okay.
That's
all
it. That there are too many people that are unreasonable about
So
grading
you're
cards.
not talking about
They're-
us.
No, definitely. There, I'm
Okay.
saying in general, there are people who are like, there are people out there who say you should never grade a card, and for any reason whatsoever, there are people out there who say you should grade every card that's worth amount of money, and there's
Do
no
what you
reason
want.
for doing that. Just
Absolutely. Do
there
what you
are
want.
Collect
there
how
are
you want to
there,
collect.
there are so many people out there in the world who don't want to. There are people probably out there, I'm guessing, who are like, I don't want to grade, don't want to grade. They get a card, they're like, oh my god, this card is beautiful. I want to get this graded. This is probably PSA 10. Is probably the highlight of my collection, and they might grade for the very first time. And if there are people out there who are just like they're pounding their fist on the desk saying, "Don't grade this card, don't grade this card," then they might not grade it. So I feel like there doesn't need to be a dark Jedi and a light Jedi. There doesn't need to be the good and the bad. It's just like let people collect the way they want to collect.
Okay.
That's it.
EP, you didn't use your catchphrase, which upsets me. So I'm going to
Don't-
use it. Don't yuck
okay.
other people's yums.
Yes.
I agree with that. So, and I'm not to sound defensive. My only point is I think people are going to wake up to the realization that grading does not have to be a necessity,
But
where you open up a pack and you have to grade everything you see
Right.
in that pack.
Right.
That's what the grading companies want you to do. I'm saying I don't think they will do that because grading has become more expensive in terms of the value it might add to the card, or in some cases not add to the card, take away from the card. If it comes back a 9, you've lost value with ultra modern cards. So
Yeah.
I think people are going to wake up to that a little bit more and grading will fall. But I agree with you. If you want to grade something and it's your PC, do what you want to do. I don't care.
I mean, the grading with the very beginning was about having the best version of this card in your collection, in your possession. It has turned into this is what it's worth. But if you, I mean, again, even if it's like a super ultra modern and you want to get it graded, like don't listen to us. Just don't understand that it's not going to be worth of $100 next year because you have it graded. It's not. That I'm fine.
All
with
right.
That,
Well, bear with me on my hot take because I have to use my fourth one here since Joe and I had the same one. But
Simpatico, yeah.
I think that Fanatics will be a big player in pop culture cards. I think you're gonna end up
Fingers
seeing
crossed.
them
Fingers crossed.
signing rappers and other people to exclusive Fanatics deals to make card for tops, maybe push Leaf out of it completely. I don't know. There's a lot of space out there to sign people, but I think they're going like Michael Rubin is. I mean, he's kind of a guy that has a lot of connections with a lot of very popular pop culture type people. And I think that somewhere down the line, they're going to start releasing. I know like Allen and Ginter has some stuff in it, but I think they're going to like release a really big set and really push it toward the public. And I think could be something to help them grow their hobby, bringing in some like pop culture there. Even though we have pop culture cards, there's a lot out there for growth. Like there's a lot of different people to bring into collecting that don't do it from those avenues. I think they're going to become a major player with that.
I think that'd be great. I think we talked about this when we were when the rumor was swirling around that Brian Gray might be going to Fanatics, and I made the point. Well, why would he leave Leaf? And I kind of pontificated that maybe they were buying Leaf to then have
What?
You like that word, pontificated?
Yeah.
That's at CMU education. Where's my Carnegie Mellon degree? I think the idea behind that and how I explained it was I wouldn't be surprised if Fanatics wanted to buy Leaf to get that pop century, that pop culture type of stuff. So yeah, that would be great. And again, if there's a market out there for it, I'm sure Fanatics will find a way to really accentuate that market.
I've said many times before, I love Ginter, and I love when Topps puts in like the Jay-Z cards into their base sets. I love that sort of stuff. When they put the people throwing out the first pitches, I love those kinds of cards, like the oddball cards, my kind of thing. So I'm 100% behind this. So that would be, I'll take a get behind 100%. I love it.
Okay, Joe, what is your second?
All right.
hot take?
Let me pull my phone up here because I have them. Because I'm old. I have to write.
I took notice you doing one of these.
Yeah, I'm like,
new glasses aren't working so well right there.
Well, I need the bifocals. The doctor said I don't, but I think I do. All right. My number 2 hot take. And we've kind of talked about this before, but I really want to bring it up now. In 20 years, kabooms and downtowns will be this generation's PMGs. We kind of alluded to it on the pod a little bit. EP brought it up, like, what's the next PMG? And you said, I think you mentioned cracked ice, right? I think that was, and I'm sitting there going, don't say kabooms and downtowns. You're really going to step on my hot take. I was going to shut you down if you even mentioned it, but they're dumb. They are. I don't like them. I think they look silly. I think I think kabooms are a cheap knockoff of Pacific Prism. I think downtowns have terrible artwork, but people love them. 20-year-olds, 20, and younger. There's just this like generation of people who love those cards. They are limited, as limited as PMGs probably were back in the day. They're a little bit less limited in the fact that PMGs made a PMG of every player in that set. So it was more of a parallel versus an insert. So I get that. But I think people really gravitate towards those cards because they are something different. There's something you don't generally see, especially the downtowns. So I could see 20 years from now, someone who couldn't afford a downtown, who's actually making real money, can go out and buy one. That's going to be their nostalgia point. We've mentioned it kind of sort of on the pods before, but I really do think that they're going to take over PMG as the nostalgia point for this generation.
100%. Yeah. I mean, they definitely are. And it's a lesson. Like, they're an insert. Like, if you do inserts in a way that they're not just thrown in every pack and you make them special, they can still be special. Not everything has to be a serial numbered parallel. And, these are a great example. I don't know why they don't do it more. Like, they could come up with some really cool stuff and have more. But yeah, people will definitely be collecting these. It's nostalgia.
Yeah, I feel like the downtowns, the art, for me anyway, the art is not something I enjoy. I feel like the art could be way better. I think they could do a way better job with the downtowns. I feel like they're, again, I've said this before, I think they're kind of lazy in what they do with the downtowns. I think the downtowns could be amazing. The kabooms, even though they're based on like the one word or whatever, I still feel like throwing it back to the Prism era. Like, I feel like that's a really good idea. I think that's a really good thing. I think those cards definitely hold up. I think another thing about this is that those cards all dip in price, right? Between now and when they, I feel like they become more, even though they're going to still be a little bit expensive, they're still going to be more affordable for people at that point too. So I think that's a really good take, Joe.
Especially throughout all the years that they've made a Derrick Henry kaboom. They probably made multiple Derrick Henry kabooms, multiple downtowns of some of these players. At some point, you'll have your choice and you can kind of pick, kind of like you can with PMG. Do I want a 1997? Do I want a 98? Do I want a 99? So I think that will ease the financial burden of someone looking back and trying to pick up something from their nostalgia, their youth in collecting.
Yep.
Okay. Your second hot take, EP.
Retail hoarders are back. They're the worst. I really think that they're back.
Really?
I have been going to big box stores. I've been going like every day or every week, but every time I go, there's never any Topps Chrome update, which has the 101 the rookie patches, or Topps Chrome, which has the MVP buybacks. There's no Bowman Chrome retail anywhere because everybody's looking for the 101s that they can turn in for how many $100,000. There's plenty of stuff out. There's plenty of stuff on shelves, but there's nothing that I really want. And I feel like there are just people that going there.
They're
and
more discerning hoarders.
No, they're leaving the Panini crap and they're taking all the good Fanatic stuff. But anyhow, the retail hoarders, I feel like they're
get those puppies.
There are a lot of Select and Prism on the shelves that you see.
There is a lot of Select. There's a lot of Prism draft picks. There's a lot of Flux. There's a lot of Chronicles. There's a lot of stuff on the shelves. but there's nothing that anybody really wants to get. That's the reason why. And I feel like there are people out there again, like they were back in 2020, 2021, when they were like lining up. Remember when they were lining up and they'd limited people because people were getting shot waiting in line to get cards. I feel like that is the case with some of this stuff that's out right now because they're trying to find these one of ones and these these one of ones, I guess. These multiple ones of one of ones. Okay, I'm sure you would. I was guessing you would. Go ahead.
No, it has nothing to do with your obsession with Fanatics and your derisive comments about Panini. I was at the Bloomsburg Walmart on Thursday or on Wednesday night to get sweet potatoes.
Yes,
and I saw everything.
You did not see any Bowman Chrome, baseball or Topps Chrome baseball. You did not. I guarantee you. I guarantee you did not. I was there last week. I guarantee you did not see that.
So
you're on crack.
You're agreeing with me. You're agreeing with me.
I am disagreeing with you 100%.
That the hoarders are more discerning.
Right. They're going for the good products, the Topps, the Fanatic stuff. Yeah. Like I said. Yeah.
I didn't see any Select or Panini Prism there, by the way.
You didn't look very hard because there's plenty of draft picks.
Draft picks does not count. Oh, you're such.
How does it not count? Get out of
here.
Well,
picks, idiot.
I'm going to kind of disagree with you, although kind of agree. I think it is still hard to find some of the product, but I feel like it's not the same that people aren't buying it up now to resell. I think people are buying it to open. Right. So like I have less of a problem with people getting the opportunity to buy the stuff and not having to go, although like pretty much the manufacturers with raising the price on that stuff really took the flipping out of it. Although there are still products here and there, but yeah, I think more of it's people ripping. At least I like to think it is. I don't know.
Yeah, being hopeful. Yeah, definitely.
All right, my second hot take. You're gonna be really happy with this one, EP. I've got a pen because I'm gonna make a point here. Panini USA will be completely gone before they lose the licenses to Fanatics. Completely gone.
Wow.
I think they're going to make a deal and they're going to say, bye-bye USA. Sub hot takes. They're going to bail on any of the redemptions that they have not filled. And they are going to take the IP they own with them back to Europe.
I thought this was hot takes, not just takes.
Completely gone.
Agree. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I completely agree. We've been saying every time they kind of sort of get a victory in one of these lawsuits that, okay, this is the time, right? You have a window now. You need to go through that window. And I do think that at some point soon, someone at Panini is going to be like, all right, we got to sell this stuff. We have to get rid of these licenses. We got to make some money. They're paying lawyers hand over fist. They're losing lawsuits. What they pay $25 million to Wildcard. I mean, they've got to do something. The interesting part of that is taking the IP with them. That's interesting. I don't know if there is a market for that IP with the Panini Europe or whatever Panini mothership is called. I don't know if there's use for that IP with that. I would think they would try and just sell the barn, get rid of everything to try and make as much money as possible. But that would be interesting if they kept the IP and then maybe in 50 years when Fanatics doesn't have the licenses anymore, 50 to 100 years of the monopoly of Fanatics, you would think that maybe they come back and try and make rated rookies again. I don't know.
I agree 100% with this take. I'm hopeful that like Panini sticks around, some of their stuff sticks around, or they provide like some of their products, like some of their lines, survive. But I can totally see this happening 100%. Like I'm hard to disagree. Like it's not looking good for them.
I feel like too, there's a point where, there's probably that drop dead point of, okay, here is where producing the cards isn't going to be more valuable to us than ending our license. So I feel like they'll just be looking for that date and probably come up with something. I don't know. My thinking was that the reports were that Fanatics were trying to get them to pay them to give up the licenses. They weren't buying the company. So maybe Fanatics doesn't want the IP. I don't know. It seems silly they wouldn't, but like if the stories are true on the past negotiations, didn't seem like they were looking for. So that's my second hot take.
I can't imagine a world where rated rookies don't exist.
You know, I was going to say, how sad would it be Prism Select, some of these products that have been around since we've collected back in the 90s, just gone forever. That would really suck.
All right, Joe. Third and final hot take.
I think this one's going to upset EP because EP is often easily upset. So I sent you guys a picture of this ridiculous auto. I forget. I even forget who it was. It was in a Panini product because they put a lot of shit autos in like Mosaic. I forget who the auto was.
Let's say How dare you talk bad about Panini? How dare you?
Billy Joe because I'm equal opportunity EP. You'll figure that out soon.
Sure you are.
Yeah, it's everybody.
Yeah, I hate everyone. If you don't get that, you're an idiot. But anyway, I'm gonna say shit autos in products are a good thing.
What?
Yes. Now let me explain myself.
Okay.
The reason shit autos are good is because everything can't be great. If everything was great, it wouldn't be worth anything. If you open up a pack of cards and every pack came with a Joe Burrow rookie autograph or a Justin Herbert rookie autograph or a Trevor Lawrence rookie autograph or whatever, a Connor, what's his name? Connor Bedard. If everything came with one of his rookies autographs, it wouldn't be worth anything. The reason things are worth things is because they're hard to get. So you have to deal with the shit autos. You have to embrace the shit autos in these boxes when you open them up, because the next box you open up could have that Justin Herbert rookie auto. You just have to deal with it. And people complain about it and roll their eyes. Oh, look at Panini, look at Fanatics putting these rando players in these sets. They need to be in the sets because then if everything is worth $1 million, then nothing's worth $1 million, right? Like you have to just kind of deal with it. That's the price of hoping your cards have some value. So my third hot take, you could expand it beyond autos, but I just specifically looked at autos. Shit autos are a good thing because that makes the good autos actually worth something.
I like this take, but there's an asterisk because a shit auto in Topps Archives cost me $70 for a retail box, or $100 for a 120, like 110, $120 for a hobby box. But if I get a shit auto out of National Treasures, that's like $4,000. There's a big difference.
I love the
paying that. So
juxtaposition. EP's like comparing Topps Big League to National Treasures.
No, I said Topps Archives. Like that is a product for stuff like that. The National Treasures is not a product for that. Like there's no way you should be paying $4,000.
Did I send you a picture of a shit auto in National Treasures?
You did. You sent multiple photos.
It was
people.
Mosaic. It was Mosaic.
But you have sent those photos before of people pulling like Jim McMahon autographs. No offense to Jim McMahon, he's fun to watch when he played, but he's not as desirable as like.
Keep in mind that product is usually 8 cards and 8 of them are autos. So if your 8th auto is Jim McMahon, it really isn't that big of a deal because your 10th auto or your 8th auto is Justin Herbert. It kind of equals out. Like
sure.
Again, so you're saying if you open up a box of National Treasures, everything should be a Justin Herbert RPA? That's silly.
It should not,
That's
but what I buy should at least be worth half of what I pay. And if a lot of Panini products, it's not.
Yes, because not everything can be that. Topps Big League. That's $30, and you get $1,000 in value.
I'm not even Topps Big League.
Take. You're being
not even Topps Big League. Not even Topps Big League.
Move on, Mike. Your thoughts on this?
Mike, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for hurting this time.
Silliness.
I will withhold my thoughts on it because I just enjoy listening to you two fight all week. But I'm going to give you my third hot take. And this one's a hot take.
Wait, what about EP's third hot take?
Oh.
Am I allowed to do a third hot take?
I'm sorry. I almost skipped you. I'm sorry, EP. The whole
I was very animated. I was very animated.
All out of here. Yeah, go ahead. What is your third hot take?
There are people in this hobby. I don't think I've done this as a hot take before. I might have, because I do feel very strongly about this. There are people in the hobby who say you can only collect vintage, only collect the goats, or you can only collect no vintage and no goats. And I feel like those people are very bad for the hobby. I feel like those people are the worst parts of the hobby. Let people collect what they want to collect. If they want to collect both, collect both. Like I'm the kind of person who I want to have the rookie cards on my players that are on my fantasy teams, because like I did back in the day, I want to watch them play and I want to watch them evolve into these Hall of Fame type players, and that's exciting for me. But I also wouldn't mind having a Mickey Mantle playing days card or a Babe Ruth playing days card, because I respect those players from those days. That doesn't need to be, again, it's the black and white thing from my very first point. It doesn't. There's no reason for black and white. Just collect the way you want to collect. You're gonna, and your hobby evolution, your hobby journey is gonna change as you go as well. You might want to collect vintage tomorrow and like ultra modern the next day, and don't let people in this hobby who are out there on their YouTube channel saying you need to do this or that. Don't let them tell you otherwise.
Except us on Fridays when you need to buy the 3 cards.
Well, because our cards are awesome though, right? Like our cards are amazing. So
yeah,
it's different.
I
argue with
agree
him on this.
I agree. I know I won't argue.
Okay.
I agree.
Much more fun when you two argue. So
well, I've been embarrassing him this whole time. I'll hold off.
I thought I was embarrassing you. It's wild. It's wild.
It's wild how it works. You know, everything's $2.50.
I'm the real winner here. I get to watch.
The viewers too, but
I'm looking forward when Topps Chrome Football comes out and it's like $50 a box. It's going to be awesome, and I get $1,000 in value. But that's besides the point. I agree with this. It goes back to your first one, EP. Don't yuck on other people's yums. However they want to collect, just let them collect. It doesn't affect your life. How does it affect your life?
And continue to evolve. That's it. That's the bottom line.
It's a life lesson. That's not just about cards either.
Yeah,
that's
let it flow, man. Just go with the waves.
That's what I was going to say. This is a life lesson here. Like I see it, like the wrestling world. Oh my God, the wrestling Twitter, and like it's just crazy with the vintage versus the new and the Panini, when that isn't even a thing. Like it is literally not. Like there are a couple people that like to make it that it's not a thing. Like I know the people that collect vintage and like they don't say that people can't buy Panini stuff. Like I've never seen that. Like I'm being objective here. You guys know David Peck. Like people get on him because he paid to have Ric Flair come and hang out and sign cards and stuff, do like an appearance, kind of a private appearance with him and friends. Like, and people like have been on Twitter and like picking on that and like trying to make fun of him. What the hell? Dude has the money.
If I could have,
if we could do it, we would do it too, right?
Like, what is wrong?
You would pay Michael Rubin to come and sign autographs.
I would.
If I could get Griffey to show up to something, like I would Griffey to show up and sign like 20 things for me. Like I would pay that money for sure.
Okay,
right?
if you're gonna have him like show up in a hotel room to sign cards to sell.
What's the difference?
But like not to like hang out with you and like sign cards for you, and like just so stupid. And like people that just can't let other people live their life. Let them do whatever. It doesn't make any difference to you whatsoever. So yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm gonna fire off my last one here. Not really a big deal here, but you know what? Fanatics, they're going to 10x the hobby. Done. They will. I guarantee you within 10 years, they will do it.
Not giving away free cards.
Not because Joe, this is my time.
It's the puppies.
You two stop fighting. Not because they're going to be 10 times more of us collecting, but we're going to be gambling. I mean, they're getting into the sports betting. They're going to use their app once they get that going. They're going to integrate breaking into that app. They're going to get the gamblers that come in even more so than they do now and take their chance at that. And they're going to 10x the revenue that is generated in this industry. That's always been what it's about. We sometimes mistakenly talk about 10 times the collectors. Never going to be that. Like at the end of the day, you're running a business. Like WWE right now, take them for instance. They are making more money than they've ever made. There were way more people watching on television in the late 90s when everything was hot, but they make way more money now with less people watching. That's the way the corporate world works. They found out if they can maximize the amount of money they make that it doesn't matter how many people are actually consuming their product. That's Fanatics. Like, they're no different than anybody else. They're going to take the gambling route. They're going to make tons of money, and they're going to 10x the hobby.
I completely disagree with this take. Because here's the thing. When they start giving away free boxes of cards, when they are going to give you nothing but on-card autos, and they're never going to do like manufactured RPA. I mean, when they're doing all these great things, puppies, they're giving away puppies in boxes. I mean, they're clearly going to bring more collectors, and they don't care about money. They're one of those few corporations who care about this great big blue marble we live on, and they're never going to do anything bad for collectors. It's all going to be good. It's all going to be cheap, and it's going to be amazing. I kid, of course. That's EP's world. Great points, Mike. Go back to episode 1. That's all I'll say. Go back to episode 1. We said this. I think I made the point that we need to define what 10x means, because I don't believe it's actually bringing more collectors in. They care about the money just like every corporation, Panini included. They care about the money. They don't care about the collectors.
I agree 100%. I thought I was going to be disagreeing with Joe for a second. That was wow, that was crazy. But I agree 100% with you, Mike. I feel like they are going to 10x it. I think that everything they've done up until this point is pushing them toward that. They've made a lot of mistakes, but they've also made a lot of things. They've done a lot of things that that you need to do this sort of thing with promotion of the cards in general, the rookie patches, the trying to fix their 101 mishaps. I feel like they are doing a lot of things to. Oh yeah. They've been doing a lot. Their trajectory is going up, in my opinion. And my hope is, I'm choosing my words carefully here. My hope is, Joe's rolling his eyes. My hope is that they continue to provide some of us who are set collectors with products like Topps Flagship and Topps Archives at a reasonable price, which is what Panini did not do in here towards the end of their run as the monopoly of
Joe. He's adorable, isn't he? He's absolutely adorable.
But,
Mr. Hopeful, Mr. Brightside down there.
If you don't keep
I
Hope
feel like
alive,
I need to license a song and start playing it here.
If you don't keep Hope alive, what's the sense?
I feel like you didn't really get the point of what I just said there.
No, he agreed with you and then completely disagreed with you.
No, I feel like the gambling is going to be like the massive part of it. I just hope that they keep a little.
They don't forget
section.
the little.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that? Okay,
yeah.
I know you're going to do this, but please give us our crumbs.
Right.
Let us.
Right.
I feel like they'll do that. Yeah,
I hope so.
It's not going to cost them anything to pacify you with the $2 box.
Exactly, which is what Panini. I mean, I wouldn't hate Panini as much if they would have just done that. Like that's all. That's it. That's all I asked.
So, just a real quick question. So, if there was a box of Panini, what's the equivalent to Flagship, right? Donruss, I guess. If there's a box for the same price as Topps Flagship, you'd be okay with it.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
Okay, and you'd buy it.
I would buy it, yeah.
Okay. Well, tune in next Wednesday where we'll have a special 2-hour episode of Joe and EP arguing for 2 straight hours. But other than that, we're done this week.
See
See you guys.
See you later.
you, boys.